Hey guys, Stealth here, and welcome back to Cold Waters, where we are about to engage an invasion fleet that is heading to Norway. We are the USS Philadelphia, SSN 690, in the vicinity of the Norwegian coast, where we are at a depth of only 50 feet, which is advantageous if I want to launch harpoons, although I don't have any loaded. Our heading is 147, speed is 5 knots, we have a moderate thermal layer at 238 feet, which we might need to use. Because at this position, if I am still in a good position to launch harpoons, I will definitely do so. For now, we're going to man the battle stations and see what is out there. Alright, we have zeros 1 and 2. I'm going to raise the ESM. See what else we can pick up. Nothing much yet.
Upscope.
Let's see, Master 1 on the bearing of 074. That would be right about there. But the sea is pretty rough today, making detection a bit more difficult. No eyes on that one. He's on a bearing of 127. 127-ish. I don't want to keep the scope up for too long. Oh, hang on, I think I just saw a mast. I was going to say I'm going to lower the scope, but I think I just saw the mast. There. Okay, Master 2 is identified as a Cresta 1. Range about 14,000 yards. A Cresta 2 class. Cresta 2 is a guided cruiser, very, very noisy and extremely dangerous. Floor 600 feet, so that's perfectly fine. He is probably already pinging away. He's very noisy, so I'm immediately going to give this thing a warm welcome. Tube 1 has already been broken, or at least the wire has been broken. Master 1, I'm not too sure of yet. So I'm not going to engage Master 1 just yet. I am, however, going to go a bit deeper, so that if I need to make a break for the layer, I can do so. At the moment, the Cresta 2, Master 2, does not really seem to be aware of any problems just yet. But he does have a helicopter friend. It is, however, not operating anywhere near the surface ship. This, by the way, is the Cresta. Heavily armed guided cruiser. You can see the anti-submarine weaponry right mounted there on the bow, a couple of launchers on the bow. Large anti-ship missile launchers mounted to the port and starboard side of the bridge. We have what seems to be a couple of defensive weapons here, potentially Sea-Whiz. We have another launcher on the stern, torpedo tubes on the, well, more or less the aft quarter, port and starboard. 5 launchers each side. What might be 127 mils, I'm not exactly sure what these things are. Dual barreled. Another helo on the stern. Not exactly what you'd want to encounter. The one thing that I want to encounter it is a torpedo. This torpedo at the moment is not active yet. But once he does, he's quickly going to acquire the Cresta 2, because the Cresta 2 is extremely noisy. So the torpedo, being passive, should have no problem acquiring the target. And there you go, he just made a course correction. He's heading for the Cresta 2. The Cresta 2 is not responding. Oh, there we go, he's speeding up, 16 knots. This thing can go 34, but he first has to try and turn away from my torpedo. And with a ship that big, that's going to take a while. Instead, he seems to be turning directly into the torpedo, which is not exactly the right choice. He's trying to make a hard turn to starboard. Torpedo is not exactly impressed by that. Seems to be impacting more or less in the engineering section. Target destroyed. That's the cruiser dead. Krivac 1. Not really that impressive. This thing is just a patrol unit. much, much smaller. And, guys, with respect, but the whole aft of the ship seems to be awash and you're drowning. Okay. Sure. Krivak, range 14,000 yards. His maximum speed is 34 knots. He does not come with a defensive weapon. Nothing. So I could, if I wanted to, fire a harpoon at him, and he would probably not really have anything to avoid it. No. I'm just going to fire a torpedo.
Con, torpedo room, firing tube 1.
Reload it. Actually reload it with a harpoon. I'm going to have all my tubes ready with harpoons. Because what I'm thinking is that what I'm dealing with now is not what I'm looking for. It is not the surface fleet. It's not the invasion group. Otherwise I would have picked up way more targets than I have. So I think that what we're dealing with at the moment is just another surface group. Nothing really that exciting. Except for a cruiser, but sure. More of a target of opportunity than a mission objective.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Alright, that's tube 1 reloaded.
Con, torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
2 reloaded.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Torpedo has acquired the target, heading directly for the Krivak. Krivak's running. You're going to have to run a bit faster than that, because at 22 knots you're just easy prey.
068.
He drops a noisemaker into the water. He's probably going to make a port turn. Look at this poor Krivak. He's going to make a starboard turn. Still with half the ship underwater. And this isn't even stormy. The torpedo is... There we go.
Sonar lost contact. Master 1. Last bearing 069. Contact breaking up.
Now we're going to head back to the mast depth of 50 feet. 49 feet, that will do.
Raise the ESM mast.
If there is anything else nearby, I would have detected it by now. So, what I'm thinking is that the signals that we're seeing here are just not really what we're looking for. Ooh, crap.
Lower the ESM mast.
He may have spotted that. Whoa! I didn't know a helo could do that.
Passing 100 feet.
I know a helo can do that. All ahead flank.
Ahead, flank. Helm, aye.
Dive planes down 15 degrees. Ballast tanks 25 down. We're going to head to maximum depth. We're going to try and use the layer to make this torpedo. There we go. Torpedo in the water. Torpedo is acquired. And that helo is directly above me.
Passing
Noisemaker in the
400
water.
feet.
Neutralize the ballast.
Con,
This is going to
knuckle
be a
form.
bit of a dance. Trying to get rid of this thing. Oh, we have 2 torpedoes in the water. And it seems that at least one has acquired. I'm going to try and lure it
Con,
towards the
knuckle
wreck
formed.
of that ship. I'm not sure exactly which one it is,
Torpedo in the water. Bearing 331.
but it is definitely something that I can use to distract the torpedo with. Shit. Noisemaker dropped.
Con, knuckle
Come on,
formed.
buddy. Join me here as we are going to find you something bigger to kill.
Passing 500 feet.
Oh, this is going to be problematic.
Passing 400
Torpedo's not surfacing fast enough, but we still have the other one.
feet. Con, knuckle formed.
The knuckle did temporarily distract the torpedo enough. Need to get closer
Con,
to these
knuckle formed.
killed off ships. We have another torpedo coming in. It seems to be that one. Let's make another
Con,
knuckle.
Knuckle formed.
Knuckle's not in the way of the
Passing
torpedo.
300 feet.
Yes, there we go.
Con, Knuckle formed.
This is about to get really interesting. I'm still trying to get to the Cresta 2 wreck.
Con, Knuckle formed.
Knuckle formed. Continue on course towards the Cresta. If this works, then that should take care of potentially both torpedoes. And this is mostly thanks to the speed of the Los Angeles. Other boats at 25 knots would have had pretty much trouble trying to get rid of these things. Knuckle formed. Continue to head directly for the Cresta. I don't want to run into it. I just want my torpedo friends to become much more interested in the Cresta than in me. Torpedo still coming at me. That one decided not to pursue, as he probably ran out of fuel. The other one is still with me. I think I'm gonna have to shake him off one more time.
Con, Knuckle formed.
There we go. He's gonna snake left and then come back. At which point we should be close enough to the wreck for it to identify that thing as a much bigger and much noisier target. Oh, he ran out of fuel. Okay, that makes my life a lot easier.
Ahead, 1/3, helm aye.
I was sort of hoping that he would continue to follow so I could show you this move, where the torpedoes are suddenly attracted to the big wreck of the Cresta. Now, the question remains, what is the helicopter up to? At the moment, it does not seem to be a problem, so let's just leave combat. Krivac 1 sunk, Cresta 2 sunk. Well done. Not your mission target. I know. That did get me a bronze star. There we go. New Sierra contact, bearing 094, designate Sierra 1. We have no thermal layers. That is bad news, because that means that I have really little opportunity to use the elements for additional defense. Okay. We have Sierras 1 and 2.
Raise the ESM mast.
Raise ESM, let's see what else we can pick up. Nothing too significant just yet. He's already identified as a master.
Con sonar
Shit.
Sierra 2 is classified as Escort.
That's probably an Udaloy. And this... Ooh, is that another Cresta?
Con sonar Master 1 is
Upscope.
Upscope bearing 06-ish. Oh, it's dark here. It's nighttime. Now, where's this guy? Bearing 066. Which means that he should be there, but I'm having trouble finding him. What about the Cresta? 093. There's the Cresta. Now, a Cresta is something that is perfectly capable of dealing with missiles. So I'm going to have to try and engage that thing with some other weapons. Standard torpedoes will do. Same goes for the Udaloy. Udaloy is perfectly capable of defending itself against incoming missiles. Torpedoes, not so much. So that's going to be my power. That's going to be my advantage. Now I'm going to
Downscope.
lower the mast and the scope. And we're going to continue to increase depth to 400 feet.
Passing 100 feet. Passing
Head
200
south.
feet.
Con, torpedo.
Passing 300 feet.
The Cresta 2 has been more or less ranged at 27,500 yards. That is pretty far away for a torpedo. Udaloy, we're still building a solution on him. And yes, they have another helicopter that's aiding their search.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Passing 400 feet.
Con, torpedo room, tube 4 ready.
There we go. Cresta is quite a bit closer than I was expecting him to be. His range is 16,000 yards, which is still well outside of range where he becomes a problem. At least from a detection point of view, because aside from that, he's still very dangerous. So we're going to send a torpedo in his general direction.
Con, torpedo room, firing 2
Not going to be able to guide that thing in.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Seems that the Cresta is slowing down. 4 knots, 10 knots, 13 knots, 16 knots, 19, 23, 27. Yeah, he's rushing away. The Udaloy is rushing in my direction, trying to potentially get close enough to fire his weapons in my direction. That's my torpedo. And apparently he decided not to fire a snapshot back at me. So he's not been able to get enough of an identification on my location to actually return fire. That's a very good thing.
Con sonar, noisemaker.
That's a
bearing
noisemaker.
0, 6, 3.
That's another noisemaker. Zigzag around it.
Sonar lost contact. Master 1. Last bearing 0, 6, 4. Contact breaking up.
There's the Udaloy. Udaloy at a range of 20,000 yards. 19. 18. 17. He continues to rush in. 16. 15. 14. 13. Dude, you're gonna get yourself killed moving that fast.
Con, torpedo room, firing tube 1.
Still though, this seems to be another patrol group. I'm not looking for a patrol group, I am looking for an invasion fleet. The Udaloy is suddenly not quite so certain about his course of action. Unfortunately I lost him, because the torpedo seems to be more or less directly in the way. But that's okay, the torpedo is still tracking the target. And I'm waiting for Master 2 to start dropping his noisemakers, making it more difficult for my torpedo to find him, albeit not impossible.
Con sonar,
There's the noisemaker.
0, 4, 2.
By the looks of it, he not only dropped a noisemaker, he also formed a knuckle. In case you're unfamiliar with the term knuckle, it's when you make a hard correction to port and then starboard, so you sort of wiggle the rudder. And that causes a disturbance in the water, making it more difficult, if not completely impossible, for a torpedo to acquire you. It's like you're creating an obstacle of water and air between you and the torpedo. And he's just dropped another noisemaker. The torpedo is not exactly fooled, it just avoids it. Turns starboard, swings back to port. Attempts to reacquire the Udaloy. There we go, he's reacquired. Udaloy is definitely trying to get the hell out of there. But there's a torpedo hitting him squarely on the stern.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 2. Last bearing 0, 3, 1. Contact breaking up.
Now, where's the helo? That seems to be the wreck of one of the ships. Okay, so that helo is heading pretty much north towards either that one or that one. If he's not too nearby, that's good. That means I can just leave combat right now. But let's reload to 1. I'm down to 7 torpedoes and 8 harpoons, which might be enough to engage that surface group. But harpoons tend to be a bit finicky. They don't always hit. Unlike torpedoes so far, which have all hit their targets.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
Shit, now the aircraft's nearby. Rig for ultra quiet.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Helo's still close. But where? If that Helo has any smarts, then he should be able to more or less work out my position, because I didn't do that many course corrections this mission. And I fired a torpedo in the direction of the Udaloy and in the Cresta, so those are basically two arrows pointing to where I was, or where I should have been, when I was firing those weapons. Still around. I'm going to continue to head towards the wreck of the Udaloy, and just hover near it, because the Udaloy is making so much noise that it should be impossible for the sonar of the helicopter to actually detect me over the noise of the wreck there. Still a Helo nearby. Can't wait for that thing to go away. Helicopters are generally more dangerous than ships. There we go, he's clear. Leave. Now, I don't know where that surface group is. There's the surface group. At least, this is going to be the third time that I set that. Bearing 074. We have a layer at 166 feet, but it's weak. Oh yeah. The sonar screen just filled up with all sorts of contacts. Sierra 5, 6 even. Let's raise the ESM and scope. I want to see if we can identify these guys right off the bat.
Downscope.
Whoops. No, keep it up. Ooh, you're close. You're an alligator. Sorry, you're a pucha.
Is classified as merchant.
Merchant, my ass. That's an invasion boat.
Con sonar. Master
Cashin.
2 is classified as escort.
What else you got? It's not there. It's probably beyond these things. Now this one is not particularly well armed, if any. So what we're looking at here is just one of those transport ships. I'm not having to worry about him. I'm going to leave him till last. The Cashin, completely different story. That guy is in fact dangerous. He's capable of hurting me. Sierra 6 as well as Master 1. Let's see, 058. It's too far for the periscope to pick up. Downscope, minimize radar signature. Let's see if we can identify Sierra 6. Sierra 6, definitely not a quiet boat. Probably another transport.
Sierra 6 is classified as merchant.
Master 1. I'm thinking that this might be another one of those surface ships bound for the invasion. Not a Krivac. Ooh, an Udaloy.
Master 1 is classified as escort.
Jesus, that's loud. Cannon.
Sonar. Master 3 is classified as escort.
Sierra 4. What do we have here? And I'm Guema.
4 is classified as merchant.
Okay, so we have them all identified. Now it's time to start killing some of these bad guys off. Starting with their escorts. So my first targets are going to be the Cannon and the Cashin. So we're going to send one torpedo for him.
Con, torpedo room, firing tube 1.
And one after him.
Torpedo room, firing tube 2.
The one that I'm worried about next is the Udaloy, but he's too far away for me to actually get a good shot at him. The Rapucha over there is quite close. A bit too close for a harpoon. My plan here is to engage these guys, kill off the escorts, so that's the cannon, the Kashin, and the Udaloy, and then go after survivors with harpoons. That's it. Let's lower ESM for now. I think that these guys are all making so much noise that we can easily detect them on our sonar arrays. We have a layer there at 166, but I don't really want to do too many course corrections, because I want to keep those torpedoes attached as long as possible. The cannon seems to be speeding up, albeit slightly. Kashin still plowing ahead at 8 knots. Does not really seem to be too aware of what's going on just yet, so I'm not worried about him. For the moment, it's all going according to plan. And this guy is still my priority target, the Udaloy. I'm going to reserve 1, if not 2 torpedoes especially for him. And I am starting to run out. I only have 5 of them left. Okay, Torpedo 2-1 just went active. Let's make him a bit of a correction there. Tube 2 is not active yet. That's fine. Slight correction for Tube 1. Tube 1 acquired. It's a passive torpedo. The cannon is speeding up at 27 knots. Now these things are fast. They can get up to almost 35 knots. But at the moment he's speeding directly into my torpedo. There's the torpedo coming in. Now he's speeding, but he's not making any course corrections. So he may not actually have heard the torpedo just yet. That's about to change when that thing comes knocking on his hull.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 3. Last
Kill 1 escort.
0, 9, 8. Contact breaking up.
2 just went active. Seems to be chasing down the Kashin just fine. Kashin not really making a break for it yet. In fact, he seems to be slowing down and making a hard port correction. Which is perfect, but it's still going to get you killed, because you're now closing on the torpedo. And I think that he just launched the helo. Which is bad news for me. But not as bad as his day's going to be. It seems that the Udaloy is interested in joining, as he's more or less heading towards my launch position. Come on. Get him.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 2. Last bearing.
Upscope.
Beautiful, that's him dead. Okay, let's see who we have. There's the Rapucha running off. There's the Udaloy rushing in. There's the helo going to a completely other area than where I'm operating in. There's the wreck. That does look pretty, doesn't it? The only good escort is a dead escort. Helo is hovering at a bearing of 070. So somewhere there. Now I can easily kill off the Rapucha, I just don't want to. I want to hit the Udaloy first, so that next I can engage these guys with harpoons. So I'm going to start loading harpoons in 1 and 2. Get an Udaloy, a surprise in the form of a Mark 48.
Downscope.
It has been a while since we heard of these guys.
Raise the ESM mast.
So I'm going to raise ESM for a minute, and then have a listen on what these guys are up to. It seems that they are running off, which is the only thing that they can do. But it is also the last thing that they will ever do. Because they're about to get hit by harpoons. I'm going to have to be careful. Because if I fire a torpedo now, it's going to probably attract... Or
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
the Rapucha is going to attract the torpedo's attention because it's more now noisy than the Udaloy. So I want to close in a bit more. Or actually wait for the Udaloy to close in on me. And once the Udaloy is dead, these guys should all be at a range where I can safely engage them with harpoons. Just going to speed up a little bit.
Torpedo
Lower the ESM mast.
Lower ESM. The Udaloy is hunting. You can see that he's still at only 7 knots.
Con, sonar. Torpedo in the water.
Shit.
Torpedo in the water. Bearing.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Con, torpedo room, tube
Oh.
inoperable.
I guess I kept it a little too long. We have another torpedo in the water. I lost one torpedo tube.
Passing 100 feet.
Con, sonar. Con, sonar. Torpedo in the water.
Shit.
Torpedo in the water. Bearing. 118.
Passing 200 feet.
Con, sonar. Lost contact.
Con, knuckle
Oh,
formed. Passing
Christ.
300 feet.
Noisemaker dropped. Do we have any wrecks we can use? He's still coming. Oh, this is gonna hurt
400 feet.
a lot. Just hoping he doesn't turn as fast as I do. Ooh. Wanted at any reasonable price. Dead ship. There. Now the good thing is that these guys are generally not as fast as I am at turning, at maneuvering, and especially their fuel reserves are their weak point. So, if I can continue
Sonar. Lost
to
contact.
outrun this guy,
Last bearing.
then it
0,
shouldn't be a
4,
problem.
3. Contact faded.
In fact, he may still be distracted by the noisemakers that I dropped previous. However, I could still hear the helo. And the Udaloy might have decided to join in with a few weapons of his own. Come on, what's your torpedo up to? Fortunately, my hull has not been punctured, despite being hit pretty much square on beneath the conning tower. So I'm not actually flooding. But my fire control has taken a hit and is going to require repairs, and I also lost tube 1, including the weapon that was loaded in it. But if that's the extent of the damage, then we actually made it out alive without any damage that's too severe. Oh, he just dropped another torpedo. You asshole. Alright, we're going to use the old masking
Passing
trick again.
500 feet.
Head towards the wreck of the ship.
Ahead, full, helm, aye.
I'm still cavitating. Oh, there we go. No longer cavitating. The torpedoes, 3 by now, are all doing circles. But I can still hear a helicopter, and it is right above me.
Con, knuckle formed.
Christ. The Cashin is still about, what is that? What's one block? 2,000 yards. That's 2, 4, 6, 6,500 yards out. Keep heading towards the dead Cashin. And see if we can cash in on his death. Now, I would love to slow down and launch a torpedo in the general direction of the Master 1, the Udaloy. But at the moment, I just don't dare slow down yet. I don't want to risk it. The helo is still hovering there with his dipping sonar. Still posing a threat. I'm not sure if he's able to hear me, though. I'm not cavitating.
Fire control has been repaired.
Excellent. I'm not cavitating, but I'm not doing especially everything to keep quiet either. This boat's gonna need serious repairs after this mission. So, not only that, but if we go back to Holy Lock, can also restock on weapons, because we fired off a good number of them, sunk a lot of targets, and dealt quite a blow to the Soviet Navy.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
I'm going to slow down. Maybe this is currently saving me. The weak duct. I want to see if we... Shit, we're flooding.
Con sonar regained contact on. Master 5, bearing 05.
Master 5? That's the Rapucha.
Con sonar
Whoops.
regained contact on. Sierra 4.
Ahead,
All ahead flank.
Helm, aye.
Secure from ultra quiet. Jesus. Could you bloody not?
Con sonar. Torpedo in the water.
Yep, he's acquired.
In the water. Bearing 3, 2, 6. Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 4. Last
Yeah, that's the
bearing,
least of my
0,
worries.
5. Contact faded.
Torpedo's doing a nice circle there. Just continue to do that, and don't bother me. There's one torpedo blowing up. There's two. All running out of fuel. We're gonna have to knuckle this thing. There we go.
Sonar lost contact. Master 5. Last bearing 05. 9.
Not a problem.
Contact faded.
Not worried about it. Come on, Philadelphia, run.
Con, knuckle formed.
There's another knuckle that's going to distract the torpedo. If only for a minute or two. That's all I need to reach that wreck. Keep him off to my rear.
Con, knuckle formed.
Wiggle a bit. Come on, if you want to kill something big, there's something big on the seabed here. Way more interesting than I am. He's still coming in. I think that I can outrun him and get to that wreck. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Con, knuckle formed.
Knuckle, knuckle, knuckle. Come on.
Con sonar. Torpedo in the
Oh, you
water.
have to be
Torpedo in
shitting
the
me.
water.
Another one?
075.
075. That's there. Ooh, he's coming in from directly above. Ooh, crap. I think it's the combination of the Udaloy and the Hilo that are just continuing to drop weapons on top of me. Now we are at the wreck. I'm expecting this torpedo to acquire. There we go. He's just coming for me right now.
Con, knuckle formed.
I'm going to make a sort of circle around this boat. Ship. My bad.
Con, knuckle formed.
I had
Ahead,
1/3.
1/3. Helm, aye.
Hold. 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 Look at this. Screw you and both of your torpedoes. Because this worked.
Sonar regained contact on. Master 5. Bearing.
He just exploded because he ran out of fuel. And he just decided to
Contact
kick him when they're down.
04. Bearing 0.
And
6.
he's all out of torpedoes. We're still flooding, however.
Con sonar regained contact on. Master 1. Bearing 0.
That's bad news because now I'm sinking.
Ahead, standard. Helm, aye.
Still sinking. There we go. Better. Now, I'm not exactly sure where the Udaloy is. Oh, just got actively pinged.
Passing 500 feet.
Trying to repay the favor. I need to know where that guy is so I can fire one, if not two torpedoes at his general direction and kill him off entirely. Because I have just had it with that Udaloy. whole of the reactor compartment has been flooded. Not great. At
Ahead,
1/3.
1/3. Helm, aye.
Con, sonar.
Oh, you have to be kidding!
On the water. Bearing 095.
He's not kidding. Ahead flank.
Ahead, flank.
Back to the
Helm,
wreck.
aye.
Noisemaker. So far distracted him. I cannot go too deep, however, because I will continue to flood and start to sink.
Passing 300 feet.
Con, sonar. Lost contact.
Bearing 0102. Okay. Come on, go pick up something big, will ya? Something like that.
Con, knuckle formed.
It's a beautiful target. Shit, the boat just got a lot heavier as we continue to take on water. Which means I'm going to have to use my speed, my dive planes, and potentially a bit of ballast to keep at... Hang on, are you already acquiring that wreck? I'm going to have to dance this thing as best I can to keep her from sinking. Yeah, he acquired the wreck. That's the second time that wreck has saved me. What about the other torpedo? Where are you? Because there were two.
Ahead,
Boom.
standard. Helm, aye.
Good, you killed another one. Gotta love that wreck. Now I am sort of angled backwards in the water
Ahead, 1/3. Helm,
to
aye.
try and stay
Con, sonar.
safe.
Regained contact on. Master 5. Bearing 068. Con, sonar. Regained contact on.
Go fish. 2 torpedoes.
Con, sonar. Regained contact on. Sierra 4. Bearing 063.
There we go.
Con, sonar. Regained contact
Okay.
on. Sierra 6.
There's
bearing
still a torpedo
05.
near this area. There he is. Now I'm continuing to sink because I lost speed,
Ahead, flank. Helm, aye.
and with that I lost the abilities of the dive planes to keep my boat from sinking.
Passing 400 feet.
Three, seven,
Con, sonar.
2.
Lost contact.
I want that torpedo to acquire me so I can lead him off into the wreck of the Cashin.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Perfect.
Con, sonar. Regained contact.
Ahead, standard. Helm, aye.
Just gonna keep circling like a vulture.
Ahead, 2/3. Helm, aye. Ahead, 1/3. Helm, aye.
I'm gonna keep it at a depth of about 400, but no further than that.
Regained contact on. Master 5. Bearing
Okay.
068.
Now, I am holding at 401 feet,
Con,
Con, sonar. Regained contact on.
but that's
Sierra
only
4,
thanks to me
bearing
constantly
064.
pumping out ballast, as I just have a
Sonar.
lot of
Regained
water on
contact
board.
Sierra 6. Bearing 058.
I hope that my torpedoes are going to kill the Odaloy, so I can start to make my way towards the surface and start sending harpoons out. Come on, Odaloy, where are you at? I'm not sure if I made those torpedoes active ones. I don't think I did. That torpedo just continues to circle as he has no target. Really not sure what I set this weapon's
Ahead,
RTE to be.
2/3. Helm, aye. Ahead, 1/3. Helm, aye.
Looks like the Udaloy is getting a bit worried about that torpedo that might be coming for him. Yep, he just started searching. There we go, he's acquired. Let's see if we can put this Udaloy out of action once and for all.
Ahead 2/3. Helm aye.
Passing 400 feet.
Now I want to start making my way towards the surface, slowly. And then we're going to surprise these guys with some harpoons. I really want that Udaloy dead though. Just about had it with him and all of his weapons. And that helo? Don't even get me started on that helo. That's one wreck. Where am I? There am I. Okay, so he's not really going to be a problem. Come on, my beautiful torpedo. Kill the Udaloy. He's still not pinging very quickly.
Passing 300 feet.
There he is. Now watch as he drops a noisemaker.
Con, torpedo room, tube 4 ready.
A side effect, by the way, of me getting a little bit less deep is that I might also be able to get rid of some water, making the boat a bit more controllable. He's not dropping? Where's your noisemaker? Ivan, did you forget to stock up on noisemakers when you were in port? Because that will get you killed right now.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 1.
Passing 200.
Bang! You're dead. Now, there is a potential side effect to me firing 3 harpoons at 3 cargo ships. That side effect is the helicopter coming back. If it does, then I'm going to have to dive once again towards the rack of the Kashin and once again use it as a torpedo magnet. Depth currently
Con sonar lost
124.
contact.
I'm going to get to 50 feet, raise the ESM mast and potentially even the radar mast,
Passing 100 feet.
which is nothing short of sacrilege.
Cavitating.
Yeah, well, screw it.
Ahead 1/3. Helm aye.
It's going to be really hard to
Con
control this
sonar
boat.
regained contact on. Sierra
We're probably
4,
going to
bearing
have the
0,
the conning towers above the
1.
water.
Raise
Alright,
the
screw it.
ESM.
Radar, ESM,
Con sonar
the
regained
maximum
contact
information you can
on.
get me. Everything.
5, bearing
There they are,
0,
all of
6,
them.
5.
Con,
Harpoon
torpedo
1,
room, firing
Harpoon 2, Harpoon 3,
firing tube 4.
Lower the
8-9 down, ESM down, radar down.
Con sonar regained contact on.
That
Master
helo just
bearing
got really
0,
pissed off
6.
as I fired off 3 weapons. I am completely dry. And we're just going to have to wait for explosions from all of these ships. And hopefully my harpoons are not going to interfere with their targets. That's why I set them to a narrow track. We're holding steady at 74 feet. No longer flooding, thanks to the reduced water pressure. Hopefully this will be enough to kill these guys off. Oh, crap. Circling around like an angry hornet. Come on, then. Hit, not a kill.
Con sonar lost contact.
Kill. Hit, not a kill. Shit.
Con, torpedo room, firing tube 1.
Okay, another one for Master 6. Next one is going to be a present for Master 5, the Rapucha. We have to wait a bit for the Mguema to sink. So if you could just get that done and speed up your sinking process a little bit, that would be wonderful, because then my harpoon doesn't have an opportunity to hit an already killed off ship. I think I just had to pull just about every trick in the
Con,
book.
Torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Perfect. Narrow track. Or narrow search. Go active. Where? We're gonna wait. He looks like he's ignoring the wreck and going for the target that is still alive. But he's not acquired yet. He may not be active. There we go. Now he's acquired. Going directly for the target.
Con, sonar, lost contact.
Down you go.
6, last bearing.
Beautiful.
0, 5, 7, contact breaking up.
Now this should allow him
Room, tube 4 ready.
to not see anything else. And it looks like that helo might be out of weapons. I think that that's why he's not actively hunting me down anymore. I gotta say big thank you to the wreck of the Cashin, which has saved me time and time again. Really, that thing was very helpful in keeping me alive. And I think that at this point, if this missile hits, we have killed off the entire invasion fleet, including 3 escorts. At least such is my hope. We have still an aircraft nearby, so we cannot end the mission. I'm not sure if these helos ever run out of fuel. They might. We're no longer actively tracking the target, but he is.
Con, sonar, lost contact. Master 5.
Bang, you're dead. Okay. We're going to head to mass depth again. 48 feet.
Raise the radar mast.
Radar. I think I took care of everything, but I just want to make sure. I'm not picking up any new contacts.
Lower the radar mast.
So I think we're fine. Gotta wait for the aircraft to just piss off. I said piss off, not come at me, bro. There's a significant difference between that. Tubes 1 and 3 with Mark 48s. Now see, the helo just continues to circle, but he doesn't do anything else.
Con, torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
I think that the AI is just not sure what to do with the helicopter at this point. Because
Add 2/3.
it doesn't have any weapons.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Passing 100 feet.
It isn't a threat. It cannot do anything. It's just circling. Now everybody wave goodbye to the wreck of the Cashin for being such a good torpedo magnet. That thing really saved me. More than once. Seriously, give it a rest. It's still classed as nearby. He's dipping far away, I'd say. Now, the problem is I dare not really go any lower because I'm going to start flooding again. There we go, we're clear. Leave. Sunk all the targets. I still have 3 Mark 48s left and 2 harpoons. That's it. Took weapons, or took tube damage. Great job! Pleased to hear the expected invasion of Trondheim, Norway has been repelled. New orders coming on this downlink soon. Yes, and the same goes for new videos coming on this downlink, as you have just made it to the end of a 55-minute video. Pretty much an action-packed 55 minutes, so I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what your thoughts are down below on, for example, the maneuver where I was able to draw torpedoes into a wreck of a ship that was already being killed off. Let me know what your thoughts are down on that in the comments. Hope you enjoyed it. Looking forward to seeing you soon for more videos.